Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. Today is Monday, May the 17th. I'm Forrest Lee. This is Bill Rice, and on the phone, calling from Panama City, Florida, we have Mike Amos. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning to you, and good morning to all of you across our viewing area. What it looks like it's going to be a beautiful May the 17th down here. I don't know about you. How they look?
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
As the sun rises, there's some areas that when the sun is rising, it is terrible on being able to try to see and drive. Have you ever seen that part of the sunrise?
Every blue moon, if I'm coming from coming up the hill right there at.
I mean, it gets in your face.
If you're going on 231 towards Brundage South early in the morning. There's been times where I've had dew or frost on my windshield, and I really had to stop the car and pull over because I could not see a foot in front of me. It was very dangerous. Yeah.
I tell you, it was tough rain. I attended a funeral for a good friend of mine, Tommy Harrington, who died this past week, and a great guy, and had as good a send-off as I've seen lately. A beautiful send-off with a lot of beautiful people, and he moved on. He had Alzheimer's, and he gave his body to science, which I thought was a great gesture. And they still talk about what a great man he was, and what a wonderful sense of humor he had all the way till the end.
Tommy Harrington.
Yep, Tommy Harrington. And your people knew his people way over because they lived right there in Flavia Circle.
Yeah.
You knew him probably. You knew him. Right?
Well, I've always heard of him and know he was a great man. So, and I bet there was a great crowd of his old friends and family there.
Yeah. At First Baptist Church. Oh gosh, if there's a more beautiful church in this world, the First Baptist Church, I want to see it. They have that area where in a funeral you can go into this beautifully glass area, which is a part of the where the congregation goes to. But there's the glass in that church is just outstanding. It's beautiful.
It sure is. Troy is full of beautiful churches, and that's one of them. Speaking of people we lost, want to remember Mrs. Julius Pittman.
Yes,
Faye
exactly.
Pittman.
Our prayers and thoughts go out to Julius and his family.
That's the mother of little Julius Pittman and the mother-in-law of Christy.
Christy's daddy passed away about a week or two ago.
Yeah, I heard that too. So Miss Pittman was a sweet, sweet lady and did a good job raising Julius. I know she enjoyed that beautiful granddaughter they have. Oh
yeah, no question about it. They was a great family, and her family, her dad, Miss Pittman's dad, was a very fine man. He taught at Troy for years.
Is his last name Clark, Mr. Clark?
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Clark.
He taught at Troy for years.
Well, some great news on the campus of Troy University. The music's playing, and the Troy Lady Trojans will be dancing in Tuscaloosa. They have been invited to the regional softball championships, and they will be. There's 4 teams from the Sun Belt that have been invited, but Troy will play and open up against Clemson. Clemson is in their first year of eligibility, is what I read, as far as softball.
I think we got shot at Clemson. I think we were
well,
yeah.
Clemson is 41-6.
Oh, I don't know.
29-5. 29-5, and they're in the regional with the University of Alabama, who will be playing Alabama State. Alabama State won their conference, so in that regional, Alabama versus Alabama State, and Troy versus Clemson, and that will start Friday. Troy will play at 2 o'clock on Friday against Clemson. And
Clemson is the ACC champs, And-
Regular season.
Yeah, okay.
In the
and
regular
then
season, and they finished second in the
the article
tournament.
I read for said that a lot of people thought Clemson would be a #1 seed themselves. So this is for Alabama. And Troy. This is tough to play such a good team, not even seeded first.
Well, on Alabama.com, there was an article, and it quoted the Alabama coach. You know, this was a odd pairing this year. The the Pac-12 field slided.
Okay.
The Clemson and some of those teams field slided because they should have been. They feel like they should have been one of the top seeds in the country and weren't. But he said too, well, you got to play the big boys. You got to go through somebody sometime. So if you can get through this,
I tell you this, I don't think there's anybody out there that wants to play Troy. I really don't.
well, Troy, you know, they finished less than they did okay in their tournament. South Alabama lost to the eventual champion Louisiana Lafayette, and Lafayette.
Did they get?
Yes, here's the Sun Belt. Louisiana Lafayette will face George Washington. They're going to be playing in Louisiana and Baton Rouge. LSU's going to play McNeese State. So you got McNeese, LSU, and Louisiana all from that state
I
playing.
bet Louisiana's #2 seed, aren't they?
Probably are.
Girls softball.
South Alabama will open up with Baylor in the Gainesville, Florida regional. Florida will play South Florida, but South Alabama will be playing Baylor in in Gainesville. Of course,
Alabama won the tournament?
yes, Alabama won the tournament.
No.
No.
South Alabama.
No, 4 teams from the Sun Belt.
You said South Alabama.
Yeah, South Alabama is going to the regional, and
Well, does that mean Troy's going to the regional?
yes,
Yeah.
there's 4 teams.
Oh, wow. So they made it. Wow.
Yep. Michael, Troy will be.
They finished so poorly down the stretch. I didn't know if they'd make it.
All right, they're going to be.
But I tell you what, Mike, they played well in the tournament, boy. They really did.
No, I mean, they lost to a horrible Arlington team that had only won 16 games.
Yeah.
And then they got losing practice.
They didn't do that well, but at least.
Straight games.
But
They ran out of pitching. You know they were up on South Alabama going into the 5th inning, 6-0, and got beat.
I was at that game, Michael. It was a tough one to lose.
Yeah.
Troy's got a pitcher. She is from up
Right.
there around.
they had 2 of them.
Oh gosh, I can't tell you exactly the place where she's located, but it's North Alabama, and she got the best pitch probably that we saw in the whole tournament. It's a well, you know, what is it when you look like you're gonna throw hard and you throw soft? What's the name?
Change up.
Change up.
Yeah.
Her change up looked like somebody was dropping a ball off a table. I mean, I've never seen a change up in softball like that.
Yeah.
She, her play in the later innings of all those games, kept Troy in it.
Yeah. Well, Troy, like Michael, to get you up to date, Troy will be in Tuscaloosa to play Clemson, who's 41-6, and Alabama State will be in that tournament. But in Texas State will be playing against Oregon, and they're in the Texas tournament with Texas and St. Francis, and that will be in Austin. So you have Louisiana, South Alabama, Troy, and Texas State representing the Sun Belt, and that's a record for 4 teams to be invited.
I'm
Now
surprised.
you're talking about Kinsley Ray Blackingame. She's from
That's
East
right.
Side, Alabama.
That's her. And what did you say about her?
She's from Newside, Alabama, Horton
yeah,
High School.
That's right.
Small
And
school.
She's a gem when it comes to throwing the changeup. She'd have all these batters just swing way too soon, and she kept Troy in it in her pitching.
Well, that is Troy made the regionals in basketball, and really had a good chance of pulling a shocking upset over Texas A&M, and now they've made it in baseball. So hot dog!
Yeah.
That's congratulations.
Well, overall,
You're right.
overall in the NCAA tournament, the Southeastern Conference has 12 teams in it, And of the 12 regional sites, 8 are in the Southeastern Conference. You got Knoxville, Columbia, Missouri, Athens, Georgia, Gainesville, Florida, Tuscaloosa, Lexington, Kentucky, Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
So
Let me tell y'all something. I want to say something. In that South Alabama game, I've never seen or never heard any fans more rowdy in South Alabama. I mean, if you had a bad ear problem or whatever hearing problem, you sure really met your match. And I've never seen a team anywhere make more noise than that South Alabama crowd did.
They had a good crowd then, huh? They brought a lot of...
Oh, they had a huge crowd. You're right, they had a huge crowd, and they made all kinds of noise.
yeah, Auburn snuck in.
So is everybody getting those games for free? They don't charge us anything to get in?
No, I paid. Now, let me tell you something. They charge, this is outside of a softball. You sort of would think I'd get a break. Well, I paid $10 to go to the game and $5 for my ticket, my parking. I paid $5 to park at that game.
Sounds like high school football. They charge.
Where'd you park at?
I parked over there where the old swimming pool used to be. Evidently, it was prime parking because I paid $5 for it. Paid $10 to get the game. Oh.
Well, Auburn made it with a 27-22 record.
$15 watch the softball game, you know.
Well, Auburn made it.
Auburn's-
Alabama won the SEC tournament for the first time since 2012. So this has been quite a athletic year for Alabama. The football team wins the national championship. The basketball team wins the SEC and the tournament, and makes the Sweet 16 where they barely lose in overtime. The softball team is back to form, and the gymnastics team won the SEC championship again. So
That's a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Oklahoma's the number 1 seed in this tournament. The number 2 seed, I'm trying to find them, but Alabama was ranked as the number 3 seed. I'm trying to find the number 2 seed.
well, you got to win a regional, then you got to win a super regional, right? Win a series against one team, and then you're off to the College World Series, which is in Oklahoma, isn't it? Or Oklahoma
Yes.
City, I think.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Well, I bet a lot of people will be going up to Tuscaloosa. I hope so. It'd be something to shock Clemson, but I think Troy can do it.
They can buy some. They can buy some barbecue going up. Can't do right. Won't you-
They've already played. They've already played in Tuscaloosa in the tournament already this year. So they played at the softball stadium up there already.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of Troy, and they've done so well. And I've got a feeling now the baseball team went 2-1 against Arkansas State, so they're still playing well, aren't they, down the stretch?
Well, they got one. They finished the regular season at Lafayette this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they'll see where they're seated for the Sun Belt tournament. That's going to be held at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery starting next Tuesday. So, and other breaking news: the Troy punter is transferring to Alabama.
Yeah, Jack Martin. That's a shocking news. I had no idea we lost our punter to Alabama.
And,
You know what? He's from up just above.
No, he's from
Atlanta.
Northview. No, he's from Northview.
I know. Yeah, but this kid's parents are from the little town north of Atlanta. Well, it's not a little town, but and I went to school with his grandmama. I hate to say that.
Jack Martin.
Yeah, and I went to school with his grandmother years ago at Troy.
he's 6'2",
Yeah,
222.
He led the Sun Belt punting last year. He averaged 45 yards a kick punting.
Yeah.
He said he considered Arkansas State, Texas Tech, and he had some interest from LSU, but he's going to Alabama to compete.
Well, he
for
ought
the
to have a
kicking
good
duties.
chance to kick right away. He'll have to beat out the transfer from Air Force State, Air Force, who's J.K. Scott's brother.
I think this gives the kid from Troy a real good chance at making the kicking team. What do you think?
Kickoff or kicking, he may not be Reichert out for.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Martin kicked off and punted for Troy. Evan Lagasse was the kicker, even though he was, very, very poorly the kicker. But I don't know how this Martin thing came about. I mean, congratulations to him, though. He's got a chance to go win a national championship.
Yeah. Well,
He's a good kid too.
I just hope they don't come get our linebacker, who is now the top. He's the number 3 linebacker now in the whole country, according to some award he just got.
There's no question he's going to have some chances. I believe he'll have some chances to do it. And of course, like Alabama just got the best linebacker in the country. A lot of people say the linebacker from Tennessee.
Yep.
And y'all know much about
yes.
him?
Toto, I don't know how to put it. Tutu, Toto.
Just what you've read, that everybody says he's good. He started for 2 years at Tennessee and was a 5-star high school prospect, probably the number 1 recruit Jeremy Pruitt ever got to Tennessee. Said to be a real cerebral player and hard worker, good instincts. So he ought to have a good chance to come in and start right away at Alabama.
So Carlton Marshall was named number 3 returning linebacker in the country. The Troy linebacker and former walk-on Carlton Marshall was named the nation's number 3 returning linebacker for the 2021 season by industry leader Pro Football Focus. Marshall led the country in tackles last season, and his combined tackle total from 2019 to 2020 seasons is tops nationally. Marshall, who checked in at 5'9", recorded 113 tackles in 2020 and has 239 tackles since the start of the 2019 season.
Wow. You just here's one thing why he's not. People are not knocking the door down. You don't see 5'9" linebackers playing in the SEC.
Nope.
But I know he's special, but they don't just normally go down and recruit those kind of players.
Trey Blackman.
Now another thing too, Mike, is
it's pretty good.
Like Mike Lawrence is punter. What's his name?
Renfro.
Taylor.
Scott Taylor Renfro. Scott Taylor Renfro.
Does he punt? Does he punt too, or is he just a kicker?
He punts.
No, he kicks off too.
He punts.
Well, I know he's a field goal kicker and good at kickoffs, and I'm sure he was Pike LeBlanc's punter, but I don't know if he has, does he have the type punting ability to punt at Division I?
I don't think he has the punting ability. I think he's more of a kickoff guy.
Well, here's one thing about him. He's just a young fella. He's probably 17 years old, maybe 18. Wait till he's about 20 and he hits.
And he's a place kicker, and
he'll kick right away, I bet.
Guy.
Yep. He'll be the starting kicker.
If he can kick it in the end zone every time, he's got a job.
Well, at Pike LeBlanc, he almost did. He seems like he did kick it in the end zone almost every time, or half the time, and his real accurate kicking, which is what you want.
Well, in high school baseball, Brantley was defeated by Bayshore Christian Academy out of Fairhope, and they lost the third game. They lost 10-4 in the third game. This is the first year of eligibility for that team, Bayshore Academy.
Mm-hmm.
They start 4 8th graders.
Oh my gosh!
They have 1 senior and 1 junior. They started 4 8th graders, Bayshore Christian Academy.
And they made it, and those young kids made it. They're making it to the championship game.
They're going to play Donahoe. Pike Road plays today against Russellville at Patterson Field at 4. And G.W. Long, the 3-time state defending champion, they're going to play Westbrook Christian today at Patterson Field at 7. Now, what I like about this, they're playing 1 game today. Tomorrow, they'll play game 2 at Riverwalk.
Okay.
Pike Road will play at 10 o'clock and play a second game if necessary. or a third game if necessary, and then GW Long will play at 4 o'clock at Riverwalk, and then a game 3 if necessary. So you play your first game at Patterson Field, your second game's at Riverwalk, and if you need a third game to decide the champion, it will also be at Riverwalk.
Well, that's great memories for those
Play
kids
at
to
two
get to
stadiums.
play those. Both of them very nice venues.
And there's no one else in our area playing for the state championship in baseball.
I tell you what, it's just you just got to hand it to the Long of Skipperville. I mean, just think how many times they have gone up to Montgomery to play for the championship. It's amazing.
Well, they've won it 16
How well
times.
this team has done over the years, and boy, it's a lot of pride in that community, isn't it?
You know, they've won 16, as Forrest just said. I wonder how many times they've been runner-up.
I'm not sure, but they played. Ayrton won the first game 8-7. Well, the second game, GW Long won 11-0. So Friday it came down to or Thursday. Well, it was 11-4 GW Long over Ayrton, and one of the stars of the game was this kid whose brother is the head coach at Ayrton. I can't think of his name right offhand. I don't have that article in front of me, but it's like his cousin. The head coach at Ayrton played at GW Long, won a state championship there, but his brother is one of the best players at GW Long that hit a home run or something, but he's can't think of the last name right now.
Who would win between GW Long and Pine Bar?
GW Long, and that would be a
Well,
heck of a
I tell you,
game.
that would be a great game. I tell you, that would be a great game because regular arts can play now.
Probably from top to bottom.
I'm just saying if they went to 1A to 2A, if they ended up playing a public school schedule, they'd probably be 2A, wouldn't they?
It would be pitching and it would be bats, and it'd be interesting to see. But I think they'd be one of the top 4 or 5 programs in the state.
Pitcher against any of them. I would take the young.
Well, let's ask this: does GW Long have a pitcher that's committed to an SEC school? I doubt it. Nelson would win his game, and then, man, you're going to take on Walker Stallworth with. I mean, they might beat him, but they wouldn't beat him much.
Walker Stallworth is pretty darn good, I tell you.
I would take Pike. I mean, we won't know. I mean, it's fun to talk about.
Boy, Sonny. I mean, Michael Billy's boy is real good too.
Yeah, Press.
Yeah, he'll be back next year.
And he is a fine player.
I've got local softball, and that state tournament starts tomorrow. Brantley will be playing tomorrow at 10:45 against Cedar Bluff. Also in our area, GW Long will be playing against Sand Rock Wednesday at 10:45, and in 3A, Houston Academy will be playing Beulah at 10:45. That's on Friday. The teams that were eliminated from softball were Enterprise, Eufaula. In 5A, Charles Simpson, Carroll, Rehoboth, and Andalusia were all eliminated this past weekend. In 2A, Luverne, Highland Home, and Ayrton were eliminated. And in 3A, New Brockton and Opp. So we just got Brantley, Long, and Houston Academy left in this area for the state championships.
What a great job these teams did. Charles Simpson's girls softball team went further than they've been maybe ever.
In a long time. I believe they have been to the state to the final 8 before, but it's been a while since they've got a lot of excitement, and I think they're losing maybe 1 or 2 seniors, if that many. I know they're losing 1, but I've heard some parents saying that they're playing with a lot of energy and enthusiasm and excitement.
I've heard good things about their coach.
Yeah, that's Khadijah Neely, who played at Troy University, and that's her first year, and I think they broke 500.
Right. She did wonders with that team. She did wonders with it.
When is school over?
Next Friday, I think.
It was over last week, technically. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be toward the end of May.
May 28th.
It'll be that Thursday before Memorial Day, I believe, and
And then there'll be even more thousands of people down here. It feels like Beach Week's already started down here. So many people.
Alabama hadn't even begun to start going down that way.
Nah, there's tons of Georgia and Tennessee, though. My God. I went to the Red Bar yesterday to go eat lunch, and we walked down, and it was about 10:55, and it was about 50 to 75 people deep in line to try to get in the Red Bar.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you ought to be ashamed of yourself that your mom and daddy weren't even invited to eat. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Well,
Are y'all at the beach?
Yeah, we're at the beach. We've been
No,
on the beach
Mom,
for 2 days.
Mom didn't even tell me y'all were coming down.
I reckon she's trying to surprise you.
well, y'all went on.
I think she didn't want us to drop off our kids.
You went on Saturday instead of Friday, like you usually did.
Yeah, that's right. We went on Saturday at the funeral.
Yeah.
Dickie,
Saw a lot of great people at that funeral that we don't normally see, and I tell you, they came from all over. And Tommy Aaron's best friends were Manley Johnson and Al Head. Two great people.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy really touched a lot of lives. He really had a huge effect on people.
Well, you can judge a person by their friends, can't you? And it sounds like he had some.
You really can. You really can. They came from all over
Where was that? Where was that funeral?
That's First Baptist Church. First Baptist Church. And it was
In Troy?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think you lived in Troy.
Well, he didn't, but that's where all his people were buried. So he, what this was just a memorial service for him, Now he gave his body the sign, Mike.
I'll tell you what, man, I went to the carousel, and they had some really good corn in there, man. If you want some good fresh corn.
At the carousel, oh yeah. Uh-huh. I ate yesterday at the our favorite place, and enjoyed it.
We had
a lot of people in there and stuff.
We had Julia's for Sunday lunch, and it was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
we ate at the barn. Yes,
You
it
did?
was pretty good.
Y'all ate at the bar. We
Oh,
really.
No, I have not eaten at the barn yet. I know it. I know. Take me.
They're closed right now.
Michael, all of us ate at good places, didn't we?
Yeah, I tell you, the water down here is absolutely beautiful. It's just crystal clear, perfect, like the Caribbean right now.
Well, I'm looking at it. I could almost throw a rock in it, and I'm looking at it right now, and it is beautiful. And of course, there's still, like you said, there's a lot of people down here, but not bad on my end of the beach. We're very fortunate.
Well, Michael, do you have those shortages at restaurants down at the beach? I would think that the beach places could afford to pay more people, and they wouldn't have these labor shortages.
No, you would not believe, Michael. We ate at your famous place.
What were you talking about? Sunnyside Grill?
Yes, Sunnyside Grill, and they didn't have but 2 waitresses working, and it took forever.
The same here.
But the food was so good, it was well worth waiting for.
Well, yeah, that's normal. They always only have 2. I mean, I sit at the bar when I go in there, so I don't ever go to a table. But yeah, I mean, down here you got at the real high end restaurants, the ones that are known for like the Red Bar, they have plenty of staff. I mean, they have tons of just like young little high school kids that want to work there because they want to work there after college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or during college, all their breaks to make all that money.
Yeah.
I mean, we went in, it was like 75 deep, but all the tables were empty, because they were just opening. So, but I mean, by the time we left, I mean, the whole main room and the bar was just totally packed. And then we walked outside, and outside was packed. So, I mean, places like that, it's like Nicky Flex in Birmingham or something like that, or
you're right.
Martin's in Montgomery. I mean, Sister's Restaurant in Troy, Pat and Geraldine, it's just expected. They expect crowds.
That's right. Those are all good names in eating. You can eat at any of those places that you named, and it'd be a very good meal.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We want to thank Cinco Drugs, Troy Baker Trust Company, Express Oil, Sisters Restaurant, and Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Troy, and Jason Gregory and his staff. Nobody can beat their deal, nobody. And we'll be back with Today in LA with Mike Amos in just a few minutes.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours.
Not because it's free,
But because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
You can email your provider and get answers.
Get test results,
refill prescriptions.
and manage your family's health care.
You know how we all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen.
well, someone did. Southeast Health.
To get your free My Chart app,
Visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
Ashley Home Store's Memorial Day sale is going on now. Get up to 30% off or get 0% interest for 6 years with no minimum purchase. Shop and save today. Only at America's #1 furniture and mattress store. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Barney, what are you doing?
You've been looking for a sale. I'm going to give you one. We got one open.
Barney, it's not a jail sale. It's called a car sale. You know, 0% financing for 72 months. Discounts over $15,000.
Killing the competition.
$5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for any old trade. Hey, and it's not illegal to kill the competition.
That's another charge.
Folks, just go to PremierTroy.com. That's where you'll find all the deals. I'll see you soon.
No, you ain't. You're going to be in jail.
Barney!
Nobody beats a Premier deal.
Nobody!
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
This is Barney at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000.
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We got to nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
When something feels just right, you know it. And at Badcock Home Furniture and More, this Memorial Day, we're here to help you find what fits your life. Find your just right at Badcock's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 50% throughout the store, including Sealy mattress sets. Plus, you can apply, finance, and save in-store and online. For comfort, style, and financing that always fits, it has to be Badcock. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
Welcome back to Today in LA. I'm Forrest Lee. This is Bill Rice. And on the phone, we have Mike Amos calling in from Panama City Beach. And we have Michael Amos calling in from Grayton Beach. And good news out of Tuscaloosa again. Dickie Pride, who used to play at University of Alabama, I believe.
That's right.
He won on the Seniors Tour, the PGA Tour Champions. It was the Mitsubishi Electric Classic.
He was a classmate of my cousin Caroline growing up, and the friend.
Yeah. He won that event. And
I know she went to.
She went to Wake Forest, and now she lives in Pasadena.
Forest,
She lives in Pasadena, California. She married a Stanford grad, and they've been out in California
they must be rich. If her husband went to Stanford, she must be rich.
Well, they got a house and they got a beach house in California too, so they must be.
Boy.
Who won the Byron Nelson?
Will Matthews' cousin Doug Barron was tied with Dickie Pride after about 13 holes, and then he double bogeyed. I was texting Will to let him know what was going on.
Yeah, there's a 2-ball tournament in Brundage this weekend.
A 4-ball tournament, wasn't it?
It's a 2-ball. Well, that's the best ball.
I've never heard of a 2-ball.
That's the best ball. And we call the country club and sign up for it. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. There'll be a Calcutta on Saturday and food, Saturday night, so call the country club. And
Mike
put your
was
name in
talking
the box.
about the TV shows he's been watching in the movies. Did y'all see that they're going to have a Friends reunion? That's the show that my wife loves. When we go to bed, the Friends with Courtney Cox. And,
Oh yeah, Friends. Yeah, I never did get into Friends much.
well, I watched it a little when it was on, but in reruns I've watched about every episode, and it really is good. I appreciate it more than when it was running for real. It was really funny. And
Let me
Yeah,
throw
Courtney
one
Cox.
out at
Courtney
you.
Cox from Mountain. Courtney Cox is from Mountain Brook.
Yeah. Well, let me throw. When we talk about series, all-time series, you've got to go with Gunsmoke first. What do you think about that?
well, it ran longer than any show except 60 Minutes and The Simpsons. I think it ran forever. Yeah.
Yeah, now, you know,
Seinfeld.
being in color though, very few of their shows were in color.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, James Arness. I'll tell you. You know who Courtney Cox is kin to? You know who Courtney Cox's aunt is?
Thank you, Doug Lake.
No, she is.
Hey, she's kin to Doug Lake.
Well, I know who else she's kin to. She's kin to Ann Chapman Cox, Brother Chapman's sister.
Oh, okay.
That is Courtney Cox's aunt. She is Ann Cox. She's got the same last name as she married Courtney Cox's
Fans out there, how many times did you
daddy's
hear John
brother.
Coney say, "Thank you, Doug Layton, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen"?
Well, The Simpsons is the longest running show, but I don't care for it.
I think it's funny.
I don't watch
But
it.
now let me tell you the rest of the story. Since Courtney Cox is close kin to Ann Chapman of Troy, and I am kin to Ann Chapman of Troy, that means that I am kin to Courtney Cox.
Yeah, but the thing about it, is it on the Chapman side or the other side? Because I never heard of the Chapman side being kin to Courtney Cox.
Well, she married into the Cox family.
Yeah, that's right. Married into the Cox family.
Yeah, she
You're
is
right.
married to Courtney Cox's uncle.
Okay, I got you.
She is now.
Right down the street from you, died in Panama City Beach is Cox Pools. Her dad ended up starting a big time pool company down in Northwest Florida, Panhandle. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
she
her
lived
family.
on with the pool people. Okay.
Yeah, they had a place in Mountain Brook and then a place in Bay Point all her life.
Well, look, somebody tell me who can stand up to Gunsmoke as being the best and most watched show. What do you think?
I think the most watched show ever is The Simpsons.
It is 32.
The Simpsons, the cartoon.
No, we're talking about, let's define our terms. We're talking about the duration or number of years the show aired.
Yeah, something you can watch, but not cartoons.
Law and Order Special Victims
Simpsons
Unit,
has been on
22
for 20
years.
years, hasn't it?
Well, Forrest just gave us another one.
Law and Order Special Unit's been on for 22 years. Gunsmoke was on for 20. L.A. Order, Law and Order was on for 20. Gunsmoke 20. Lassie 19.
No.
How about CSI? How long has that been on?
15.
How about
I think 60 Minutes is run longer than any of them.
Jack Benny was on for 15 years.
60 Minutes has probably been on for 40 years.
Bonanza 14.
How long was Carson on?
Just 14. That's surprising.
That's good.
I don't know how
Carson
they're
had to
listing
be
this.
on for 25, maybe.
It's not breaking it all down. It's like
Well, y'all hadn't even come close to what was our Bun movie? The Bun.
Well, Gunsmoke was popular and owned for a long time. Now that's one thing you can talk about, and then you can talk about what the critics think are the best shows. TV is changing. I just read a headline this morning that said that NBC has come out with their lineup for this fall. I guess all the TV shows are going to be back since COVID's pretty much over. And it said there's not one comedy on NBC's lineup Monday through Friday night, and that's the first time ever that there has been no comedy on NBC's line up a TV
they
show.
say it wasn't, Andy Griffin, everybody's doing, is talking about that, but Andy Griffin did not show near as much as everybody thought. But they were very good. What do you think about that?
I think it was one of the best shows ever. The first 5 or 6 years of it, and
but at the same time, I heard that it was not that many
years. No, it ran for about.
That they ran the show.
It ran forever. I mean, it ran over 10 years. Now I quit watching it when they got to the color and the latter years. But
oh, really?
I would say the Andy Griffith Show ran for at least 8 or 9, 10 years.
I tell you what, if you wanted to laugh, all you had to do was turn it on with John Knox. He was just so funny.
I liked Seinfeld, and I like Everybody Loves Raymond.
I never watched it. I never watched that, but
I love Seinfeld too. I like Seinfeld better than Friends, but I think in syndication, the one that gets more viewers and is picked up by more networks is Friends. Friends outdoes Seinfeld in the reruns. It's interesting.
Yeah, I want to give our thoughts and prayers to the Birmingham Police Department. They had 4 police officers shot near UAB yesterday. Double murder suspect is dead. But this all went on yesterday in downtown Birmingham near UAB campus. Apparently, an argument over a dog caused a major shooting event to happen.
What was the argument about?
A dog.
A dog.
Oh, God. And how many people were killed?
Even more than 60 minutes.
You had the shooter was killed. Another lady was killed that was involved, and then 4 Birmingham police officers were shot.
Oh, boy. Man, oh, man. What's the world coming to?
Well, it seems is it me, or there are a lot more of these incredibly violent events happening in America today. Multiple.
All the officers are supposed to recover.
Yeah, but to me, it's an awful shame, I tell you. And of course, our president, our thoughts are with those families that are involved.
I mean, that shooting that I saw Chicago this weekend had 42 people shot.
Isn't that unreal about Chicago? Isn't it unreal?
Now, that's not 42 people killed, but there were 42 people shot. In the
42
city of Chicago. And it's not even summer yet. Normally shootings go up when the hot weather hits. So,
because they say there's some places in Chicago that even the police won't go. The police won't even go in there,
Well, on some basketball news, the Cleveland Cavaliers guard Colin Sexton, who was a graduate of University of Alabama.
He's not a graduate.
Or he's
he only played 1 year.
I sit corrected.
I know what you mean.
He has the highest single-season scoring average for an Alabama alumni. He averaged a little over 24 points, and that beats Latrell Sprewell's record. So he has the highest average of an Alabama grad.
In the NBA.
Also, Sam Houston State won the FCS National Championship in football, 23-21 over the
Jackrabbits. Thank you.
Of South Dakota State. They said it was an interesting game.
They came back and won in the last minute.
I think somebody lost their running back, somebody lost their quarterback, but it was 23-21. Had rain delays.
South Dakota State Jackrabbits, and as everybody in our audience, I hope, knows by now, my son is Jack Rice, but his nickname is the Jackrabbit. And we have adopted the Jackrabbits as our team.
Well, I saw the game. And
how do you not have Rice University as your thing?
Well, we've got a Rice T-shirt too. I used to do a lot of stories with the Montgomery Independent to promote the Blue Gray tennis tournament, which is a big college tennis tournament in Montgomery. I was friends with the guy that was kind of the commissioner and organizer of that tournament, and every year to thank me for all the stories I did in the Montgomery Independent, he would just invite me over and give me whatever T-shirts I wanted of all the teams that were participating in the tournament. And one year Rice was playing, and so I got me a couple of Rice T-shirts. Still got them today.
Y'all read the article where former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy's dogging Tebow? McElroy's come out and said that Tebow signing with Jacksonville was going to be a sideshow, and that he was the quarterback with the Jets with Tebow when they basically cut him as a quarterback and then tried to play him at tight end several years ago, about 10 years ago. And McElroy said that he wasn't any good back then when they moved him to tight end, and now he's about to be 33, 34 years old. And he said the difference in Tebow and like Tyson Hill, the Saints quarterback, Tyson Hill runs a 4.4. They say Tebow runs a 4.8.
Yeah. Oh,
I saw that, and
McElroy pretty much said that he just felt like all this is going to do is make a lot of players on the roster mad that Tebow's even getting a chance.
That made me uncomfortable to read that, because McElroy and Tebow were colleagues for ESPN and the SEC Network, and but I guess McElroy, that's what he's paid to do, is give hot takes and his opinions. That was a hot take.
I didn't see McElroy much. I don't know what his ratings were. Did y'all see him very much this year?
Yeah, he calls games on ABC and ESPN.
Yeah, they moved him more to ESPN. He doesn't have his show on the SEC Network like he used to with the LSU defensive lineman.
You got to think that McElroy and Tebow aren't great friends. I mean, they played against each other in the SEC championship, and that's the famous game where Tebow was crying at the end of the game because McElroy was the quarterback, and Alabama just blew out Florida in that SEC championship game, and Tebow, it was his senior year trying to go for another national championship.
Well, Tebow seems to have so much class. He'll be above it all, and it was interesting. McElroy knows what he's talking about, but I've always thought, do y'all remember Tim Tebow as a college quarterback? He was a heck of an athlete, a heck of a runner.
Oh, yeah.
And he's kept in shape, and I just don't think he's lost all his athletic ability or toughness. I mean, I would think he could play tight end.
Exactly. How much skill do you have to play tight end? I mean, he's hard nosed and he blocks people.
We're gonna lose somebody.
Go out for fast route.
Hey, we got a call. We might lose one of y'all for a couple minutes. Let's pick it up.
They say it's only 6'2".
Yeah, he's same size as Najee Harris, and then I saw where Najee Harris made some news with his first press conference with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They better get used to Najee Harris. He's going to say what he wants to say, and he's going to say it in colorful and profane ways, and he's not going to suffer any fools lightly in the media. Some press member was saying, I saw you catch a ball and practice today with one hand. Is that something you really been working on and improved on your last year in Alabama? And Najee thought that was a silly question. He said, man, I've been catching balls like that since I was in middle school. He said, you see my hands, how big they are? He said, I've always been able to catch the football.
Do we have a caller on?
Yeah, y'all, hold on. Let's see what we got. Good morning, you're on Today in L.A.
Hey, it's Will Matthews. How y'all doing?
Hey, Will.
Hey, Will. We got Michael and Mike are both on the other line, so
I know what that means.
That means that one of them is on hold, but we got you. Go ahead and tell us the big. I understand that your cousin almost won the senior tournament this week.
He was tied for the lead with 4 holes to go, and he double bogeyed 15 and bogeyed 16, and he lost by 3 strokes.
Oh, man.
Or 4 strokes. But he was tied for the lead, And then he just didn't finish well.
Well, tough. He sure has been great since he got on that senior tour. I love hearing about it. I pulled for him real hard.
He was 6 under for the day with 4 holes to go and ended up 3 under.
It's all how you finish, isn't it?
Right.
Who's your odds-on favorite this weekend?
You know, I think Rory McIlroy will win the tournament.
Is that, so we're talking about, is that a major this week, the PGA Championship?
Yeah, PGA. Yeah, PGA. The last time it was at the Kiel, he won by 8 strokes. So this is a great golf course for him. It's Ball Striker's golf course.
I like Roy. I like the way he comports himself, and seems like a good young man. So that would be fine with me. Of course, I'll be pulling for Justin Thomas. Who else will I be pulling for?
You know, Justin's been in a slump.
You know, he has.
Don't know what's wrong with him.
And then his buddy Jordan Spieth is coming out of a slump.
Yeah, he's playing better. He could be a factor, too.
Mm-hmm.
And where will this be held? And where's it going to be held this weekend?
Kiowa Island, South Carolina.
Kiowa Island, South Carolina.
And it's right on the water, so it's really windy and tough golf course.
Well, that'll be something to look forward to. I need to check some of the odds on betting on golf is becoming much more popular.
I would think Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson will be the 2 favorites.
I would too.
Well, you got a kicker out of Dothan. The Martin kid's going to the University of Alabama. He's transferred from Troy to the University of Alabama. Jack Martin, he's going to try out for all 3, for punting, for kickoffs, and for kicking. But
well, he won't get there in place kicking because the guy they got, that freshman, didn't miss a kick this year.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's excited about going to the next stage and trying the big stage. Something he's always wanted to do. So.
Well, Alabama is in dire need of a punter, although last year the team never had to punt, so it was it was a moot question.
Well, we're going to need a long snapper, too. So
that's right.
Who the long snapper's going to be, and older.
Alabama's last 2 long snappers have both gone to the NFL, and I think they both started for 4 years. So in 8 years, Alabama's had 2 long snappers. You know, I know a former Alabama long snapper. He's a buddy of mine. Will, you might remember him. Fred Marshall of Montgomery
I remember Fred. Yeah,
he was the long snapper in the late '60s, early '70s.
He played with Wilbur.
Yeah, and he played with John Hanna, and he was graduated the year before the Punt Bama Punt game, so he was not the long snapper when Auburn, but the year before he would have been. But
you know, that Punt Bama Punt was not the snapper's fault.
No.
It was the punter's fault. But it really was the coach's fault because they had him lined up 8 yards instead of 11 yards, and because they figured they'd pick up the extra 3 yards punting, but that cost them the game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He wasn't back far enough, and then if you watch the replay, he's kind of moving up before they snapped the ball. It was just, and then they didn't block anybody. It was just a nightmare for Alabama fans, and then the nightmare happens 2 different times. It's amazing.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a trivia question. Who blocked both punts?
Langer?
Nope.
That's who picked him up.
He scored the touchdowns. David Langer did.
Who was the guy that blocked him?
Bill Newton.
Yeah.
Blocked both of them.
Same guy blocked both of them? Same guy picked them both up?
It looked like the same play. It looked like identical play. I mean, it looked like a replay.
I recently saw...
I know one time he was not even touched when he went through there.
Oh, they just poured through. I watched the replay of that not too long ago, the second one, and Alabama had the ball at about the 40, so it wasn't, I mean, then they, the guy's probably punting from about the 30, and then they block it, and then it goes back to the 15, and then the guy scoops it up and runs 15 yards. But my point is, if Alabama would have just taken a knee and downed the ball at the 40-yard line, that Auburn would have never scored a touchdown.
In fact, I don't even think they had but 1 first down the whole game.
And
won the game. Yeah.
You want to go back and pick up Mike?
Yeah, let's see. Hold on a second. Well,
I'll let y'all get back to your big shots.
All right.
We've got one.
Well, normally we would be okay, but Mike Amos is gone to Panama City Beach, so that he filled up both our lines.
I understand. Y'all have a good one.
You have a good week. Thank you for calling, Will.
See ya. All right, let's see. Let's go to the conference.
Just got one.
Who's there? We had Will on, and we couldn't get anybody else on. Who's there?
You got me.
You see where Pujols is going to the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has a 298 career record. He has 666 home runs. No, 667. That's fifth all time. Albert Pujols.
How old is he?
41, I believe.
Can he get to 700? I guess
He's 41, but a lot of people are saying his birth certificate is not legit. A lot of people think Pujols is closer to like 44 to 45. That happens a lot in the Dominican Republic and a lot of these other players from Venezuela and all these other countries. Their birth certificates are sometimes not necessarily legit because they're trying to get them to the minor leagues at a certain age, and they think that's the case with Pujols.
Hmm. Well, he's still at 41 or 44. He still might get 700 home runs, which would be.
That's happened many times in Major League Baseball where a guy's age changes. I know the Braves had a guy. I think his name was Rafael Marcal. He was the shortstop. He went one year from being like 26 to 29.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's like the age of some actresses. Like when they're young, when they're starting their career, they want to be younger. All right, let's
But I
see.
mean, you can't blame.
Hello. Hello.
We're back.
Yeah, we had Will Matthews calling. Sorry, we had to put y'all on hold.
Where's Will? Is Will in town or where is he?
He was on the phone.
He was at the beach, Dad. You didn't see him at the beach?
No, I didn't. I rode by the yellow house 2 or 3 times while I was down there. Well, I'm still down there now.
You know what we were talking about? Well, we were talking about the Troy punter transferring to Alabama, and then that somehow got me talking about the punt Bama punt game. And so then we went into about 5 minutes remembering the nightmare for Alabama fans and the ecstasy for Auburn fans of that unforgettable two plays.
How many times has Alabama won on luck?
Not many.
Well, I don't know. You could say the same thing about Auburn. How many times they won off luck too? They won off something like that too.
Well, you had the punt Bama punt. You had the Alabama play where they throw a screen pass on 3rd down and fumble.
Yeah,
you had the kick 6 game.
I was at that game, and Dad was on the field before the game and after the game.
You also have that game where the receiver might have caught the ball and it was ruled out of bounds.
Oh yeah, I was there. Alabama lost that game on that last play.
Auburn beat Georgia on that tip pass.
But Auburn, when you have the bizarre outcome games, Auburn is way ahead of Alabama. I can't think of any where Alabama has pulled it out like that.
The worst game for an Alabama fan has got to be Cam Newton in the national championship year. I mean, Alabama was up 24 to nothing, should have been up 31 to nothing. Ingram fumbles going in for a touchdown, and gets a touchdown.
Rolled out the end zone, yeah.
That's the most heartbreaking loss I've ever experienced as a fan of Alabama in my life.
Well, it's hard to rank them. I mean, we just named. You can't. It's hard to beat the punt Bama punt and then the kick 6. Although Auburn, I still think the kick 6 game Auburn would have won in overtime, no problem.
I'll tell you another game, Mike, that Alabama got lucky on was the field goal with
Van Tiffen.
Van Tiffen field goal, but right before the field goal, they threw a pass across the middle, and he was tackled about 2 yards inbounds, but the officials called it out of bounds. Kicked Alabama the opportunity to line up.
You're talking about Greg Richardson?
Greg Richardson.
Well, let's put a second or two back on the clock so you kick a field goal at the half.
Well, you know, the one thing though, he did make a first down on that play, so the clock was going to stop on the first down too. So
I don't know if they stopped the clock back then though. I don't think they stopped the clock back in the early 80s.
I thought they did.
I want to say that they signaled him out of bounds.
Well, it was close. You're right.
We need to find out about that because that was a big play in Alabama history. And of course, didn't they have 2 shots at him once one time he was calling, he was out of bounds, and they got another chance to kick it.
What happened is that an Auburn guy was offsides on the kick, so even if Van Tiffen would have missed it, he would have got another try from 5 yards closer. That's why I relaxed. I was in the end zone when that ball was coming towards me before the great whiskey shower, and I clearly saw that Auburn guy, defensive back, get lead too early, and I said, "Whew, no pressure. He's going to get another chance." But I mean, about a split second, once that ball went up in the air, you could tell it was straight through the middle.
I tell you this, there hasn't been that many big wins. Most all of them have been within touchdown almost.
I remember.
I feel like when Bo Jackson went the wrong way was a big controversy.
Well, that helped Alabama. So
Alabama's what did Alabama win? 4 games that year?
5.
Another one with old boy from Theodore ran on the. I reckon you call it the old Statue of Liberty, wasn't it?
Well, reverse.
Lawyer Tillman. You remember that?
Yeah, there was a.
Yeah, Coach Blaney made that call, I think, Zillman.
Yeah, Lawyer Tillman won the game. In fact, that wasn't the play they were going to. Larry told me about that several times. That wasn't the play they were going to run. They were going to run another play, but Lawyer Tillman ran to the wrong position, and they had to run him around, and it worked.
Well, then the other player, Fullwood, that was I waxed the dude play where Roy Turner tackled Brent Fullwood on a real hard hit about the 1 or 2. But I mean, that was why didn't they give the ball to Bo Jackson on that play? They had.
But of course, another one was in Auburn, and Mike, you and I were in that game, and the old boy that hadn't done anything all year long won that ball game, didn't he?
What are you talking about, when Andrew Zal? You talking about when Andrew Zal beat Auburn?
No, it was you and I were at the game in the end zone.
You're talking about number 315, Lenny Patrick?
No, Mike, you're wrong. God.
You're talking about
this was fairly recent. Within the last 5 years.
You're talking about when Roy Upchurch caught the ball and McElroy and Julio brought him back? Yeah.
No, Roy Upchurch had done nothing in his career until he did that.
No, Upchurch was great until he got hurt, and then he got beat out. But he was a great athlete.
But well, all right. See, I'm sure just to be on the field, he was a great athlete. But he had
Upchurch ran up and down the field on Virginia Tech that night we were in Atlanta watching him.
Well, excuse me, Mike. Excuse me on this Alabama stuff. I don't know much about it.
I'm going to tell y'all one that nobody remembers except for me. Coach Bryant loses to Auburn and Pat Dye for the first time in Dye's second year. Auburn wins a close ball game. Russ Wood's probably playing in that ball game. Alabama has about 520 yards in that game. Auburn has about 270, but Alabama has about 4 fumbles. That's why Auburn wins. But then there's a play in that game where they called interference on Jeremiah Castile that kept an Auburn drive alive, and then Auburn goes ahead and scores a touchdown. I watched that game not too long ago, and I remember when it happened, that was not interference on Jeremiah Castile. It's just and here's another one that y'all won't remember. Maybe Michael will. Tebow, before he loses to Alabama in 2009, he does what? He beats Alabama in 2008. But Alabama is looking mighty good in that 2008 game for much of the game, leading going into the fourth quarter at the end of the third quarter.
Punt.
Florida is driving, and they have a 3rd and 3 or 4, and they run a sweep, and Dante Hightower tackles the guy, and they call face mask on Dante Hightower. And I've watched it over and over, and it was nowhere close to a face mask on Dante Hightower. So Florida gets an automatic first down. They go ahead and score the winning touchdown. Take away that bogus face mask penalty, and Florida has about a 4th and a yard and a half. Now you know what Florida was going to do. Tim Tebow was going to carry the ball, and he might have probably got the first down, but we'll never know. But that play right there turned the game, which probably arguably kept Alabama from winning the national championship, because if Alabama gets the ball back right there, Alabama beats Florida and goes to the national championship game.
When we had an off game in that bowl game, was that where Urban Meyer or somebody?
They wouldn't have had an off game if they were playing for the national championship. So, but people forget that little. Go back and watch at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, and see if Dante Hightower grabbed that guy's face.
Did we make a mistake on a kickoff or a punt where we kind of stepped out of bounds or got pinned down there at the 2 or the 3?
Might have.
All right,
in the
you
fourth
guys,
quarter.
let me ask you this. We talk all the time about all these great Alabama victories. Why don't we talk about all these Alabama great losses? How about the time they went out and played in the it was El Paso Bowl in El Paso? How bad did we get beat that day?
No,
in the Sun Bowl?
You remember that Sun Bowl? How bad we got beat?
I think it was the Fiesta Bowl, and it was Louisville.
They played in Phoenix, and they played in the Fiesta Bowl against Louisville and got blown out.
They got
That's right. Yeah, got blown out by Louisville.
That was bad.
Brownie Nagel and Howard Snellenberg was the head coach.
Yeah, I can't believe you remember that.
That was Stallings' first year. He learned his lesson there. I'll tell you some others that there hadn't been many just embarrassing beatdowns of Alabama, but so you can remember them. That was one of them.
How about when they went to Hawaii and got beat? Can you believe Hawaii beat Alabama?
I remember that, yeah.
They got beat in the Music City Bowl when Cornelius Griffin was a junior.
I was sitting there at that game.
By Virginia Tech.
27, Alabama 24.
Yeah. Southern Miss beat Alabama in Legion Field one time when Terrell Paul from Charles Anderson played.
Oh yeah, they beat them 21-0.
And Alabama just couldn't. It looked like a junior high team.
Oh yeah.
But I was thinking, what was the other game I was thinking about?
What about La Monroe beating Saban in Tuscaloosa his first year?
That's terrible. But I'm thinking about teams that just whipped Alabama so bad. Notre Dame, Alabama, when Bill Curry was coaching, Alabama went up to Notre Dame one time. Y'all remember that? And Notre Dame they had Tim Brown, and they beat Alabama by more than 30 points, I think.
I tell you what, you
Clemson in the national championship game, that one came from out of the blue. That Clemson might win, but bless Forrest's heart. You can tell us.
Well,
what went wrong?
Well, the stadium was very well lit up. Clemson, they were in it. The fans were. We were knocking on the door a couple of times right there. We still were in the game. But then the wheels fell off. We threw an interception for a touchdown pass. I mean, they threw an interception. They returned it for a touchdown. We lost one of our best defensive backs, tore his knee up, and they scored.
Over the replacement?
There's talk about that superstar receiver, Ross, from Columbus or Phoenix City. There's rumors about him transferring, but he says, no, I'm not transferring. But I was there. And it started off when I lost my hot dog.
I can remember Missouri beating Alabama
That was a big
early in the season. That it was out of the blue. Georgia, Alabama went over and played in Athens one time and got beat 21-0 by a Vince Dooley team in 1976, I think. That was unexpected.
You go back. I always remember when you lose to teams you never think in the world could beat you. They lost to Northern Illinois under Shula or DeBose. And then they lost Louisiana Tech twice. They lost to Central Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those losses were just incredible.
Yep.
That's right.
That's when you knew that's when you knew the program had gone to places you never thought it could possibly go.
That one,
on probation.
that loss to Southern Miss under the Dubos last year might have been one of the ugliest ones.
Who is the big tall quarterback for Southern Miss that beat Alabama 2 times in a row, I want to say?
Brett Favre was one of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was, we talked about him a couple months ago. That was Reggie
Collier.
Reggie Collier.
But those were close competitive games, and Alabama was in it, but it was shocking that they lost. I'm talking about beatdowns.
Barb beat them one time pretty bad.
Sure did. I was there.
Barb beat Auburn, Florida State, and Alabama.
Yeah, that's right.
That was Stallings' first game, I think.
Yeah.
Stallings went 0-3 to start his first season.
Well, he had terrible injury luck. I think Saran Stacy went out with a knee injury, and then they had a really good receiver that was started off good named Craig Sanderson. Then he blew out a knee, and they barely lost to Southern Miss, and they barely lost to Florida, but they lost. And that season started off terrible. Then they rallied the troops when they upset Tennessee at Tennessee. They blocked the kick to win that game.
Yeah. Philip Dole made like 3 or 4 like 50-yard field goals. They beat them.
Yeah. I tell you.
Then they beat Auburn, I think, in that. I think they did beat Auburn that year.
Yeah.
I still think Philip Dole's my favorite kicker of all time.
I know, but you remember this? An 0-10 Alabama team trailed Florida State late in the ball game, and Alabama was it Dole that kicked the field goal, Mike?
No, that was Coach Bryant. That was Coach Bryant.
That was the guy from Montgomery. I went to school with his son, Bucky Berry, maybe.
Bucky Berry,
and in that game, Newsom made a super catch to keep the ball game going.
Florida State was 0-10, not Alabama.
I know, I said that. Didn't I say that?
No, you said Alabama, but we knew what you meant. Alabama was like number 1 or 2 in the country, and that would have been the upset of the decade.
Now, one other thing that is very, very unusual. The Florida State coach did what? Come on, one of you gurus, let's see if you can answer it. The Florida State coach did what?
He took a safety.
No.
I don't know what he did.
He coached the game from the
press box.
Press box.
Right. Yes.
Press box.
He coached the game from the press box. The whole
what was wrong with it?
I don't know. He just wanted to coach the game from and he coached it from the press box.
Yeah. Well, today, Pike.
Sounds like they were stealing signs, maybe.
Maybe so. But his name was, what was the guy's name? Do y'all remember?
Must have been the guy right before Bobby Bowden.
He was before Bobby Bowden.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to answer that tomorrow. We're about to have to get off.
I thought I could answer it, but it was in that game.
We only got 1 minute left because.
That game had to be in the early 70s, I guess. The Newsom was playing.
Yeah, mid-70s.
Yeah, it was played at Alabama.
Well, good luck to Pike Road today. They play against Russellville at Patterson Field at 4 o'clock, and G.W. Long plays right after that versus Westbrook Christian at Patterson Field today. Good luck to them. The Lady Trojans are warming up for the big tournament in Tuscaloosa.
That's our big
weekend.
story today. Is the Lady Trojans make the NCAA regional?
They're going to be playing Clemson, and good luck to them. I believe they play at 2 o'clock.
And I tell you what, if
Friday.
if I was up there and was in a position, I would go to that baseball doubleheader up there with
Pike Road
Long and then Pike Road.
Be back to back, yeah.
Yeah, I read where Coach Murphy's upset that Clemson's coming to Tuscaloosa. He felt like they're way too good of a team. They're the ACC champions.
Right. Well, thank you.
Tuscaloosa, 2 seed.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning for Today in LA with Mike Amos. Y'all have a good week and a good day, and we'll see you in the morning bright and early for Today in LA with Mike Amos.
Have a great day.